What's the juiciest rumor at your school that turned out to be 100% true?
That there's an underground bunker from the Cold War era below the school. Not only is it there, but it turns out that you can actually access it from the PE changing room through a secret trap door. It's in Krakow, Poland, because so many of you were curious. And it looks like there's actually a lot of schools that have one. Also, it's confirmed to be a bunker, but it was built before the school existed, and was most likely emptied by the previous owners of the building. Do you get to go in? Do you get any cans of peaches and whatnot? Personally, no, I'm not too much of a scaredy cat, but my friends did. Apparently, there isn't really anything special in there. It's just an empty space with a lot of water pipes and stuff. The only thing they found was an old chair for some reason. We had a Spanish teacher who would keep giving random financial/business advice during classes. One day, he tabbed over to his stock trading homepage and accidentally revealed that he was a millionaire. Rumors about his past started circulating. Around graduation, some students found out old newspaper articles confirming that he's a former meth dealer who had spent time in jail. He was a seriously cool guy, though, actually. But thinking about it, that kind of sounds like it would be like a good Breaking Bad spinoff. And nobody? Yeah, everybody? Alright. A girl got caught giving her boyfriend a BJ in one of the stairwells of my high school. The government teacher, one of the most ultra-religious and pure-hearted individuals on the earth, was the one that caught them. Ended up in science class with the girl. She gave no fucks that she was caught, and took her legend status like a champ. Still, makes me laugh over a decade later. A new kid comes to high school. He's got a funny accent because his parents were missionaries, traveling all over the world. He's actually kind of cool. Spoke at least 4 different languages: English, Spanish, Russian, and Mandarin. Super polite, and everybody liked him. Of course, he had haters, mainly the so-called bullies, a concept that he never understood. Rumor began that he was very well versed in many forms of martial arts. He never denied or admitted to them. One of the bullies decided to find out. He was much bigger than the new kid. The new kid did everything in his power not to escalate the fight. He even took a punch from the said bully. Whoop! I guess the rumor is true, because not only did the new kid beat his ass, the bully shit himself too. Most awesome thing I've ever seen in high school. So not only did the kid beat his ass, the bully shit himself. Thank you. This has made it onto my list of favorite things to know have existed. It warms my heart. During freshman year, there was a rumor of undercover cops. A few weeks into school, we find out that it was true, and they arrest 2 kids for selling green at lunch. School wasn't happy about this, and they suspended everyone who they thought smoked with 0 proof and 0 reasoning for it. Over 60 kids. It's 10% of our school. Also, in case anyone was wondering, 2 kids got probation because they only had a few joints. Undercover cops work weeks, and only for about 6 grams between both kids. Small town, right? 600 kids at high school and probably the most flagrant waste of police time imaginable. This guy's gotta be a small town. We had an 8th grader who got pregnant. She went to special ed for 9th grade, came back for 10th grade, and then got pregnant again. She shared the news with our math class, and I got to start the rumor. Nobody believed me. She couldn't be that stupid, but she was back in special ed 11th grade, and I had a lot of people telling me that I was right. My middle school math teacher was a strange religious man. He always played really soft, angelic choir music at class. He had these really messed up thumbs where they'd appear to be permanently affixed so that it looked like his hands were always displaying 4 fingers. He kept the girls in my class near his desk, and he always made weird religious remarks about how girls should act. My classmates and I always joked about how fucking creepy this guy was. He could always snap the bra strap of a girl if it was showing, stare at the girls in my class, stare at their chest. It wasn't until my junior year of high school that I found out that he'd been caught multiple times looking up girls' skirts. He was fired, and he disappeared. A girl moved to our school after her parents were slain. There was a rumor that she was being investigated as the assassin. Turns out, she did kill her parents over them not liking her older boyfriend. My buddy told me the school used the special ed kids to clean the cafeteria after lunch. Wasn't a huge rumor, but I asked a few other people, and some said that they heard it too. So, one day, I asked to go to the bathroom in my class after lunch. But instead, I run my ass to the cafeteria. And lo and behold, there's a few dozen kids just happily cleaning away. Wanted to get closer, but the school had a strict where you can go during class policy. And I wasn't about to get caught by the teachers. My school was built by the same designer that built prisons, using recycled designs. Which explains why our school felt like a prison. I mean, the administration, the courtyard, giant fences, iron gates, layouts of the hallways. It always looked like cell blocks to me, and it turns out that they were. Not juicy, but tragic. I went to a therapeutic school, essentially a private reform school. They used to use this method called the ring if a kid got violent. Essentially, if you got a ring, then you were made to box against other students until you lost. Fresh students would be sent in to fight against you every round. There was a rumor that a ward of the state was slain in the ring back in the 80s. Turns out that was true. There was a rumor that my principal had a drunk driving incident during a long weekend. Turned out that not only was it a drunk driving incident, but he went on a wild drunk driving spree where he drove back to his house and held his wife at gunpoint. Was originally only put on a leave of absence, but later got fired altogether. Felt really bad for his son, who was in his senior year at my school. In high school, the biology teacher was growing green in the environmental lab. Supposedly he did it for 30 years without anybody noticing. Nobody could ever prove it, though. Later on, I was assigned to be the agent taking care of some of his financial matters, so I went to his house to have him sign for some paperwork. He had a hydroponic set up there. So I asked him about the environmental lab. It was like Han Solo in Force Awakens. It's true, all of it. And then he offered me a brownie. Did you accept it? Hell yes, I accepted it. I had to see what 30 years of growing expertise got him. And it's the one experience in my life that I brag to literally every one of my friends about. That one of the students was actually a cop. Turns out he was a cop, and he busted one of the actual students for selling handguns in school. If you thought 21 Jump Street was an unrealistic movie, then think again. The cop was 33 years old, and he was undercover for like half of the semester. In elementary, about 15 years ago, our favorite school teacher didn't come back after a summer break. He was awesome. He was funny, sporty, cool, down to earth, never shouted. He was just a great role model to have and be around when you're a kid. Rumors went around that his wife and daughter passed in a car accident. Nobody believed it. It was just what the kids said on the playground. Somebody heard it from somebody, who heard it from another somebody, and so on. Then I went to the local grocery store with my mom a little while after the school had started again. Saw my old teacher. He was a shell, a wreck. I was 8, but even then you can kind of tell when someone just isn't there anymore. I asked the parents of my friends, and they confirmed the rumors. I felt so bad that something as awful as that could happen to one of the best guys that I ever knew, and I always look up to. Turns out, he took his life a couple of years ago. Same bridge that his wife and daughter perished on all those years ago. That's awful, man. It's terrifying that one accident can leave you like that. I wouldn't be able to survive that either, to be honest. So, moment of silence. There were rumors that there was a network of underground tunnels that connected every building on my college campus. I didn't believe it until I walked through them myself. Well, I kind of expected this to stay buried, but here we are. To clear up the mysteries still remaining and to elaborate a bit, Grand Valley State University in Grand Rapids, number 1, in Michigan. But the tunnels are all under the main campus in Allendale. 2, can confirm that they were maintenance and steam tunnels. Some older sections may have doubled as bomb shelters. As a student, I had a job that allowed me to request keys to pretty much anywhere on campus without question. First time I opened the tunnels was because I opened a door labeled maintenance in the basement of a dorm. And I found myself staring down an incredibly long corridor. But seriously, what was the point of those tunnels? Well, at my graduate school, tunnels connect all of the medical school buildings. They are used for radioactive isotope transport and animal transport. There was a rumor that this kid helped slay a guy during a robbery. In a small town the day after the robbery, it seemed like everyone at school was talking about this kid being involved. Someone else was convicted, an older former student, and the rumor sort of just faded out. We all graduated, and some of us even moved away, and the rest of us avoided the psycho. A decade or so later, he was arrested and convicted of the killing when his accomplice flipped on him to get parole. There was a rumor that my high school health teacher got dunked on by Kobe Bryant when he was in high school. He played varsity basketball at my high school, which is the same district as the one that Kobe went to. Whenever people brought it up in class, he would deny it and get really mad. Sure enough, someone found an old highlight tape on YouTube of Kobe from high school, and there was my health teacher getting posterized by the legend himself. Getting your ass kicked by a famous sports star is pretty much always seen as cool, though. I knew several people who bragged about getting whooped by Tim Tebow in high school, for example. It's not mine, but my dad's. There was a rumor that there were tunnels underneath the school and that they went across the entire campus. There were, in fact, tunnels underneath the school. My dad and his buddies found an entrance covered by some just bushes when they were throwing around a football. Thing was bolted up with chains, so they drove into town, bought some bolt cutters, came back, and they found their way into the tunnels. The tunnels spanned most of the school, and they were relatively clean, as he tells it. They mostly just led to janitor closets and storage rooms around campus. He used them to pull pranks when he attended. Wasn't ever caught, but the administration figured that he and his crew knew about them at least. Did you have a rumor at your school that turned out to be true? Let us know in the comment section below. We'd love to hear it.